So in the studios with us, we have John Castore with Semper Home Loans, and John and I will be discussing with you how do credit disputes affect a mortgage. Now, John, first off, welcome back to the show, of course.
Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Thanks for being here. And secondly, the question of the hour is, what are credit disputes in the first place? People might think they know exactly what it is, but let's pretend like we don't.
All right. Well, whenever you have someone check your credit or you check your credit on your own on one of these websites that there's a good handful of good websites you can go to, and you notice a mistake and you try to either fix the mistake or remove the mistake, or something was paid in full and it's still reporting with a balance.
Yep.
That's the word they use. You're putting this credit line, this trade line, into a dispute. And all that means is the credit agencies will do an investigation to see if it is a mistake, in fact, if this creditor is tied to your social, if it was paid in full. And whenever you dispute something on your credit report, you have to make sure if you have proof that you paid something, or let's just say it's been something that's older than 7 years and it shows a zero balance and you just want it removed because it's a negative item on your credit report, most likely you can have it removed within 30 days of the dispute.
Okay.
So it's a fancy word for saying this. I have a mistake on my credit report and you want it either removed or reporting correctly for the next 7 years.
So a question for you, because this is Rhode Island.
Right.
There's a lot of people here that are named after their fathers, their grandfathers.
Or Smith or Ramirez, yeah.
Like I'm going to have baby boy the fifth, right?
Right.
So my dad and I always, we ran into the situations where his stuff would show up on my credit report. My stuff would show up on his credit report.
My brother and father, too.
Your brother and father, and I was going to say that must happen all of the time for them as well. That's a common thing, but these disputes, they're 30 days to how do you get rid of them?
If you're doing it on your own, and it's very simple. Typically it's just the website now. A lot of people they've made it simple where you can go to annualcreditreport.com or Experian.com for $1. You can get your whole report for 2 weeks, and then you just cancel the subscription. But on there you can dispute the negative thing on your credit. So what's common in Rhode Island especially is like National Grid or the Dish Network. If you forgot to turn in the box, or they didn't write down that you turn in the box, or the Dish, you'll get a collection on your credit report. And many times it's a mistake. You either paid it or you did turn in the box, or you get a strange collection. Medical collections are not so bad this times, but mostly anybody who's disputing anything, it's either a 30-day late that they know they have proof they were not 30 days late on their mortgage, because they only report if you're 30 days, 60 days, 90 days plus. So if you have proof that you paid your mortgage on the 29th day and it came out of your account on the 29th day, and you were, and they have a 30-day late showing on that has a major effect on your credit. And to try to get a mortgage afterwards or refinance, it doesn't look so good and it's hard to get you an approval there. So what you do is you dispute that information, and then there's a big investigation between the credit bureaus and the creditor. And if you basically win and you are correct and they find proof that you are correct, they'll either remove it from your credit report or at least report it correctly. And it'll say currently in dispute on your credit report. So if a mortgage loan officer sees that, and you have to look for this, if you see dispute on credit in progress and you don't bring that to their attention, hey, when did you dispute this? They're not rating a dispute towards your credit score. Let me say that again. If you dispute something, it's a little trick where, let's say you have 6 incredible items, perfect payment history, and you dispute one negative item.
Yeah.
Your credit score is fictitious because that negative item, if it is really yours, you can have a fictitious higher credit score. So mortgage companies, since 2015, since this huge major lawsuit through New York and medical collections, I don't want to get into that, but we've been watchful of this. Any disputes that report on your credit report, we have to get removed because your score is not the correct score. So once the dispute is resolved, it'll say dispute resolved, customer either agrees or disagrees.
Yeah.
And when we run our desktop underwriting, this is a massive calculator. We put in all your information, we click a button, it tells us if you're approved or not, and then it gives us a 20-page report on, do we have to remove your dispute from credit because it's not calculating your score. So let's say it is yours. There is a balance, and we remove the dispute. Your score can go from 720 to 650. That's a big difference from conventional maybe to FHA, and now you're paying that FHA mortgage insurance. Doesn't mean we can't get you a loan, but underwriting, desktop underwriting notices disputes as well as underwriters notice disputes. And the first guy should be, or girl, should be the loan officer that sees it. And we have this simulator we use Credit Plus as our factual data company that gets us the 3 scores through Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. So it's your FICO score that we look at. All these other scores are just credit scores, and it calculates something. They're typically 50 to 75 points higher than when we pull your credit. So main thing you want to see is if you have to scroll all the way down to make sure there's no disputes at all in progress, and if there were, if it's reporting correctly, you have to go over that with your client. If you don't, it could delay things in the future. So main thing, whenever you're disputing anything, the more proof you have to prove your fact that you paid this in full, or you didn't have a 30-day late, or it's over the 7 years and it's been paid in full, and you want it just removed so your score will go up, make sure you have proof that it helps if you have proof that credit account number reporting on your credit report, you have the proof that has the same credit account number as well.
So, question for you. So, as far as if there's a dispute on the credit report, that dispute is not being accounted for in your score at that time?
Yes.
So you have
a FICO score codes it as XB. As soon as FICO takes over and codes it as XB, they cannot legally calculate that trade line towards your credit score.
Wow.
So your score typically goes up.
Oh.
If it's a derogatory thing, and we see it all the time. People are getting savvy and they're disputing anything negative, and their score is excellent. And you know that it's not a correct score because they're not calculating those negative things. If those negative things are removed or reporting correctly, your score should stay the same. But if 1 or 2 of them really are open and you have to pay them off, it affects your score.
So credit and credit scores, I mean, to me, and I think to most people, is like how do they know how much of this affects your score over here? Like, it's very complicated.
It is complicated.
Super complicated.
The way they calculate credit now, it depends on the variety of different types of credit you have. There's the mortgage, then there's the installment loans like an auto loan and personal loans, as well as student loans. Student loans are the big ones these days. I mean,
tough. People
have an enormous amount of student loans, and if you go bad on a student loan, like what happens is it's in deferment until 6 months after you graduate, and if they don't notify you that you're supposed to pay starting August 1st when your kid graduates, or when you're going to get a 30-day late payment, a 60-day late payment, and then they notify you, hey, you're in default on your student loan.
Lovely.
But wait a minute, I'm going back to school. I thought if this was deferred for longer. That affects your credit score something fierce. And if you ever let a student loan go into collections, that's federal. That takes precedence over a mortgage, almost as serious as a tax lien on your property. So pay those student loans or consolidate them into something to get one big payment. Once you get going on there, make sure you don't get a 30-day, a 60-day, a 90-day. Make sure you're on top of it.
Student loans don't help your credit score. Is that correct? They can only hurt you. They don't give you points.
It's another variety of credit, and it doesn't really go against you, but a lot of, like Nelnet. Nelnet, you'll take a $10,000 student loan out, and then they report that your balance is $10,430.
Yep.
So you're already borrowed more than they gave you. So it does have a negative effect because 55%, 30% of your score is availability on everything.
Yeah.
So it does have a negative effect.
So here's another question, John. Would it make sense for somebody to take a home equity loan out and pay off a good chunk of their student loan debt?
That absolutely. First of all, if they can write off the interest and they can knock it out quicker. Much, much quicker. The payment will be like nothing because it's interest only on a home equity line. Sure. That is a great way to pay off student loans.
Call John. What's your number, John?
My number is 401-255-3314. Always do something. If you're going to look for a home, and you call me 2 months earlier so we can clean this up. Somebody always has something.
We just went through it with mine.
We went through it with Emilio's, and it wasn't hard at all, but it still delays the process.
Absolutely. John was right on top of it the whole time, which was very helpful.